Buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster ride of some tasteless humor, lots of heart, and radical truth with two scrappy chicks. Because adulting is hard, but we are thinking that laughing about it is just so much easier.
Hey, welcome back. Season 1, Part 2 of Rhode Island Reunion. I'll make this quick because we have only so much minutes left, and we're in the midst of switching platforms. So, it starts back off with Rulla and Joellen fighting, and Rulla calling her a slut, and Joellen saying, no, Brian's a slut, and then Rulla saying that Joellen does doctors and she's a whore and they all know it. And Liz is shaking her head saying, no, Rula, no. Joellen says, got House Hunters on in the background. Sorry. Joellen says that Rula got a new nose and a new personality. She did get a nose job. It does actually look nice. Um, So then Andy asked about Rosie's house. When will it be done? And she said July. And how many square feet? 5K. And then Kelsey claims she said 8K. And it's like, who cares? You know? God, some of the stupid stuff. And then Kelsey's like, I don't care about the size. It's the fact she was, oh, what's that word I'm thinking of where, I don't know, like inflating the numbers. Um, So then um they talk about why Rosie left her job and she had colitis and so it was a medical leave and Kelsey's trying to say she had an affair with I don't know. Is it the coach? First she had an affair with the coach and now she had an affair with somebody she worked with. And Rosie says, I have the receipts, and it shows her earlier with Alicia in her cute little briefcase that said Rosie on it. And but she didn't bring it out. And next we have Alicia and Andy asked, how did you guys meet? And Alicia said he was a stalker. That was funny. I love her accent. Um and they are working on a wedding date. Excuse me, a wedding date. And yes, how's the driving going? And she says 20 minutes is all she can do. She's got anxiety. And then she's also doing a cracker line, possibly with the oyster crackers. And my notes are so sloppy because this was last night. Oh, and then Andy's like, do you eat anything else like protein or that? She's like, nah. And he's like, how do you stay so thin and in shape? And she said she does the Jane Fonda workouts that her aunt introduced her to that. So, yeah, that's old school workouts, Jane Fonda. So then, they're talking about prenups. Rula says her and Brian have each one. And Alicia said that Billy did a trust and that she's in the trust. So, that was that. And it's like bounces around because then somehow we get into about Rosie and her mortgage. Kelsey was sent this information, you know, how they're affording that, and Rosie sold her condo, and Rich paid half too. And Kelsey and Joellen give each other looks, and Rosie's just like, what the heck, you know? Then they briefly show the guys in the room, and Billy was saying he didn't know about the Kelsey and Rosie fight at all. Alicia didn't tell him. So, go back to Kelsey. In 2014, she was hit by a car, and apparently they found a tumor, and she held off getting it taken care of until she performed in a pageant. So that's why it's important for her to have health insurance, because of that tumor. It was like the size of a golf ball. And then I guess there was a rumor about Kelsey being a hooker or something, and she said she never sold her holes for money. Yeah. Some of the language that comes out of these ladies' mouth, it's hilarious. And Kelsey claims her identity was stolen. Like, pictures of her were used on Facebook portraying her as the hooker when she was not. And they asked about when she was with her ex, did they have an agreement, an arrangement? And she said no. And she said at the beginning she was jealous with him being with someone else. And she did meet up with her, and they both agreed not to post him online. He's not with that other girl. She didn't say if he's with anyone now. And Andy asked, how did you meet? And she said a tanning salon that Joellen worked at, which is funny. And at first, her ex agreed to be on the show. And then when he found out it was Housewives, he said no. But he does like the show. And Kelsey is now living with her boyfriend, Bill. And Bill pays for her cars, and she pays for her insurance. And he asked Rulla how her and Brian are doing. She said better. The stress has made her sick. And that Joellen and Rulla were going back and forth exactly what year was Brian's divorce final. Was Rulla pregnant before his divorce was final? When did they get married? And it's just like a back and forth banter, and her and Rulla we're going at it, and Rulla's like, it's none of your business, none of your business. And supposedly Brian's ex-wife was the Spanish teacher, Alicia's Spanish teacher. So that's been a thing. So I guess Rulla and Brian have been together 10 years, married 9.5. So Joellen did pull up a court thing saying, and it said his divorce was done in 2016. I do know if you have addendums like child support, that goes under the divorce thing. So I don't know if that was a thing for that most recent date she's seen, if that was had to do with child support. Who knows? But it's just crazy. Who cares, right? And then they had the men come out, and Andy asked Gary about, because I guess he dated Joellen's sister before Joellen, and he says, I never slept with her. She was more like a friend. And Kelsey said she's not ready all for the marriage and kids yet. But when she is, Bill is ready. And then Liz and Gary, Andy asked if he got a phone call from Brian about Liz, being with somebody when they were separated. And he said, yeah, it was a friend. And then they put Brian on the phone. And Brian told him about it. But it's all in the past, and Liz and Gary are new grandparents. And Billy, which is Alicia's fiance, Andy asked about the prenups he had something with. It was updated. And Alicia signed it, and there's stipulations there about having to drive more, especially driving the daughter to her classes. So I thought that was interesting. And of course, we try to get stuff out of Brian about the affair and that, and he said he can't. He signed an NDA. There's lawsuits going on. So pretty much we couldn't get any information out of Brian at all. which seemed like a waste. Like, why was he there if he couldn't give us that info, the stuff that we really wanted? And I don't know why Joellen says this, but she says, Brian says to Rulla, your butt smells like garlic. And Jared makes a comment. He said he wished his butt did. Then there's a picture of a Chanel bag. Who did you buy it for, Brian? And they asked Rulla, is that yours? No. And it's the same old cannot comment. And all because the NDA and the lawsuit. And Joellen says, the reason why she was saying this stuff to prove that she wasn't a liar. And Andy asks, how was it that it was going on, like during the show? Because according to Rulla, the affair stopped in October. And of course, you ask Brian, and he still can't say because of the NDA. And what I want to say? Well, they're moving forward. I guess they're together, even though, I mean, I've been there. That's why I was done, because it had happened way too many times. So I feel for Rulla. I understand her religion and divorce and that, but I really hope the best for her. And I hope he changes. And because they talked about the tracker, and he says, really can't talk about that. It was dismissed, but can't talk about that. And he said after having 4 weeks of no contact with her, it made him realize that he missed her. And she said it will take a long time to trust. She believes it's worth fighting for. There's fractured parts that hurt. It's painful every day. It's up and down. Brian says she holds the family together. He's trying to be better husband, father. And she said this is the last chance. And then one of the girls asked if he does this again, and Rulla says that's it, I think that was Rosie that asked. And Ashley says under her breath, I want to call him a slam pig. And Ashley did say to Rulla, hey, just know you're better than him. And you know what? And that's good. Sometimes you got to show support to other women. So Andy says, what are your last final thoughts? Ashley, she wished to be less nervous, more fun and vocal and chatty. Kelsey, what did Kelsey? Rosie, I'm sorry. Rosie, she hopes that her and Kelsey can be friends. And then Kelsey said to her too, well, I think we also should start a friendship, not on camera. Besides on camera, off camera too. Kelsey, like I said, I can't. Too hard. Kelsey said it was too hard with being friends on the show and off the show. Rulla, shut things down sooner. Joellen, she would have more privately talked to Rulla instead of like having it all out there and then have Liz's back. Liz, she said control, react. Oh God. Control, react, care less, and I'm sorry, I can't read this. Polite. I guess polite. I may be wrong. Alicia, she said she wished she wore more makeup, especially with her scar on her face. She's just so darn cute. And then Liz gave Andy a mask, and it had these 7 crowns for each of the girls. And Andy handed out Dirty Shirley's, the drink, and Alicia did the toast, and it was adorable. So yeah, looking forward to season 2. And that's it. That is the end of Real Housewives Rhode Island season 1.
We love our scrappy peeps. So thank you all for joining us and becoming part of our flock. So please like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't like us, unfortunately, yo mama. But if you do like us, we look forward to seeing you next time on Two Scrappy Chicks.